Good evening, everybody. The topic of today's discussion is teaching essay. Before I proceed further on this topic, please let me know if the screen is visible and if I am audible enough. Do comment. Okay, thank you, Govinda Joshi ji. So let's start. Thank you, Akhilesh ji. Ranjit Kumar Mahato, I think you have problem with your audio.
Everything perfect, Rasa, right?
All right, so let us start. Now, essay reading, teaching essay. When you are attempting to teach essay, you go through three-stage activity: pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading. Now, having taken so many classes, I think you are familiar with this technique: pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading. So let us discuss what is pre-reading. You're preparing students. Your students are getting warmed up for actual reading activity. Okay, you are setting the stage, you're introducing topic somehow. And in while reading, you're actually discussing the essay, discussing the content, discussing the text. Post reading is about reinforcing the knowledge. Please take a look. What happens in pre-reading stage? First thing that you do is you brainstorm about what? You're not getting into the text. You're just looking at the topic and asking your students to predict about it. You can also ask your students to explore various essay topics, just the topics. And by doing so, they can figure out at least the basic difference. What has made, what has differentiated the topic. When they find different topics in different essay, they start guessing. In pre-reading activity, you can also discuss, or it is generally discussed, the author's background. And you introduce the key vocabulary needed to explore the content. So in pre-reading activities, brainstorming of the topic, providing key vocabulary, discussing author's background is crucial. Pre-reading stage, as many students have suggested me to even speak in Nepali and for complex details. So here I am using my native language. Pre-reading activities मा गर्ने के कुराहरू आउँछन्, कस्ता एक्टिभिटिजहरू समेटिन्छन् त? हरेक स्टेजमा एक्टिभिटिजहरू डिफरेन्शिएटेड छन्, हामीले तिनीहरूलाई मिंगल गर्न मिल्दैन। सो यो स्टेजमा पनि केही एक्टिभिटिजहरू एसाइन गरिएको छ। के एक्टिभिटिज एसाइन गरिएको छ त? कस्ता एक्टिभिटी छन्? ब्रेनस्टर्मिङ एउटा एक्टिभिटी हो। यो ब्रेनस्टर्मिङ अबाउट द टपिक। टपिकले के भन्न खोज्दैछ, सबैको राय सल्लाह ग्रुपमा इन्डिभिजुअली लिन सकिन्छ। प्री रिडिङ टेक्निक एक्टिभिटी हो। अथरको ब्याकग्राउन्ड, अथरको राइटिङ जहिले पनि अथर कुन समयमा हुर्कियो, कस्तो कालखण्डमा त्यसले त्यो एसे लेख्यो भन्नेले प्रभावित हुन्छ के उसको टेक्स्ट। सो अथरको ब्याकग्राउन्डको बारेमा पनि अलिकति चर्चा गर्ने हो भने विद्यार्थीहरूलाई यो टेक्स्ट किन लेखेको हो भन्ने चाहिँ बुझाउन सजिलो हुन्छ। क्रिटिकल वर्ड्स, before they actually jump into reading the content, key vocabulary is necessary, it is essential. Okay. Brainstorming of the topic. What you can do in this, you can directly ask targeted question to stimulate students' thoughts on the essay topic. Okay. You can allow creative thinking. You can allow free flowing ideas. Let them express about anything they know relevant to the topic, or at times could be irrelevant, but let them guess. It's fine. By doing so, you are making them, you're preparing them for actual activity, and the actual activity is the reading the essay, reading the content. You can have them discuss in group because it is going to create a collaborative environment. Team spirit is going to grow. So in brainstorming, questions, guided questions, creative thinking or free flowing ideas, and group discussion is generally done. Please take a look. Describing author's background is the next activity that we do in pre-reading stage. We are discussing each activity under each heading. We are discussing pre-reading activities, and in that section, this is the second activity that we are discussing. First, brainstorming session or brainstorming about the topic. The second activity is describing author's background. Why do we describe author's background? What is the relevant? Why is it relevant? Author's work, that is the written text, is is influenced by, is likely to be influenced by the era that he lives in. That is why we need to study the author's background. How is his or her text shaping up? When somebody grows, this societal influence, this cultural influence, political influence of the era or the age that someone lives in, and it is going to shape, it is going to reflect somehow through writing. So that is why author's background is essential. Previewing the critical words. There may be words that these students are going to encounter very complex words as they proceed to read. Now, before they actually delve into reading, before they go on to explore the reading, you need to pre-teach them the vocabulary, key vocabulary. So, previewing the critical words is essential, and that is what we discuss in pre-reading stage. Now, discussing critical words, what you can do is you can define directly the meaning. You can demonstrate or show them the relationship or how is it used in context. You can even go further to by asking them to produce their own sentences using these critical words. Now, here's the reflective break. Take a look at the question and try to attempt this. Now, if you are teaching students how to read essay, then in pre-reading activity or stage, you are setting the scene, you are warming them. It's a warm up activity. However, if you are teaching them to write an essay, and if it is the first step, that means planning or organizing. If you are going through process approach, then it is the first step, and the option C stands true. So in essay writing, to activate prior knowledge, generate ideas, and plan the essay. Now, while reading activities, now when students are playing with the text, what activities can you carry out in the classroom? Scrambled essay, collaborative reading, jigsaw technique. Let us discuss these techniques or activities while reading stage one by one. Play with scrambled essay. Now, essay has different sentences, different paragraphs. What you do is you give them scrambled essay and they have to rearrange it. Rearrange according to the ideas or according to the events in chronological order or in an appropriate order. What is the benefit? What is the advantage? The advantage is they reconstruct the essay from mixed up segments, and while doing so, they become aware of the structure of an essay. Collaborative, that means it is not an individual task or assignment. There is a partner. It's a group activity, team activity. There are members. So teamwork, collective responsibility is now there are three types or three activities that can be carried out under this collaborative reading activities. You can form discussion circles, read aloud sessions, can ask them to role play. Now, discussion circles. If it is a group, you can ask them to discuss the essay. They reflect upon their own understanding. Various interpretation come. All the members in a group opine themselves what they understood, what did they infer. So there's discussion, they're exchanging their understanding of the text. Read aloud sessions. Oral reading engages the auditory senses and enhances collective analysis of text. If you're asking them to read aloud in group, what is being enhanced? Collective analysis of the text. Another technique is role playing. Now there's in essay there is the situation. Okay, now they act out the situation, event, they act out the characters. Doing so, they grasp the knowledge, they comprehend. The comprehension of the text is reinforced, is becomes concrete. Jigsaw. Now in jigsaw, what happens is you form a group. Each member of the group is entitled to study only a paragraph or certain lines. Later on, each of them shares what he understood. And this is how the group comes to know all that was meant for audience from the text. अब यो जिक्सॉ एक्टिभिटीमा के हुन्छ? एउटा ग्रुप खडा गरिन्छ, ग्रुपमा धेरै मेम्बरहरू हुन्छन्, हरेक मेम्बरलाई पुरै टेक्स्ट पढ्न लगाइदैन, एक मेम्बरलाई उसको एउटा पार्ट पढ्न लगाइन्छ। मानौ 6-7 जना मेम्बर छन् र 6-7 वटा प्याराग्राफ छ भने हरेकको जिम्मा एउटा प्याराग्राफ पर्छ। त्यो प्याराग्राफको निचोड उले पछि ग्रुपमा सुनाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ। यसैगरी सबै मेम्बरले सुनाउँदै जाँदा ग्रुपले कलेक्टिभली त्यसको थीम बुझ्छ। या पुरै क्लासलाई 4-5 वटा ग्रुपमा समूहमा विभाजन गरेर हरेक ग्रुपलाई एक वटा प्याराग्राफ दिइसकेपछि हरेक ग्रुपले अगाडि आएर आफ्नो भागमा परेको प्याराग्राफ अगाडि आएर डिस्क्राइब गर्छ, अर्काले गर्छ। यसैगरी सबैले गर्दै जाँदा पुरै क्लासले एज अ होल त्यसको थीम या कम्प्रिहेन्सन, त्यसको बुझाइ त्यहाँ हुन जान्छ। Segment expertise. Each group is an expert of only one segment, paragraph 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever they are assigned. First of all, group is formed. If there are various groups formed, each group is assigned one task. If there is only a group formed, only one group formed, then each member is given only a subunit, only a paragraph few lines. So they have to comprehend the segment, the unit, the subunit, the paragraph, the lines that they are assigned. They don't have this burden to read the whole text. No burden. It is burden-free activity, quite enjoyable if you practice. See, as you can see here, students take turns teaching their segment to their peers. Okay, they teach, they discuss their understanding. Six thinking hats is an activity that is carried out in while reading stage. Six groups or six students are assigned different hats. Okay, it does not mean a physical object, not the hat exactly, but they take six different roles. Okay, either six students or six groups. First is white hat, yellow hat, black hat. Then you have red hat, blue hat, and green hat. What is the role of white hat? Those performing the role of white hat have to focus on data and facts, just the data and facts. They do not have to worry about anything else. Yellow hat have to keep in mind, have to note it down, what are the benefits and positive aspects of the arguments in an essay. Similarly, black hat's role is to critically analyze and evaluate the weaknesses in the text in an essay. Okay, from his viewpoint, from his or her own understanding. They just have to figure out the weakness. What is the role? Critical analyst. They are critical analyst. Moving on to next, the fourth hat is the red hat. Participants wearing the red hat share their emotional responses and initial reactions. How has the text touched them? What are the emotional sentiments carried out in the text? What's the emotional content being built or included, where the audience can refer to? Sentimental segment. Blue hat. What blue hat does is facilitates and manages the thinking process. The blue hat is worn by the person facilitating the discussion, sets the agenda, defines the focus, and monitors the thinking process. What is the role of the blue hat? The role of the blue hat is the discussion is within the limit. Okay. Green hat represents the critical judgment of ideas. Participants wearing the black hat should have been black hat. This should be green. That should have been black. Sorry for that. Analyze and point out potential problems, risks, or drawbacks associated with the proposed ideas. Now, the writer discusses ideas, his opinion through the text. Black hat does what? Figures out the risk associated through his ideas. What happens if you go on to implement the idea of the writer? What are the risks? Whenever someone is expressing their own feelings or ideas, there are advantages, there are pros and cons. This particular hat weighs upon the pros and cons. This is how during reading stage or while reading stage you can carry out. The name of the activity is 6 thinking hats. 6 thinking hats is the name assigned to 6 different groups or 6 different students, and each has a peculiar role to carry out. यसैलाई नेपालीमा एकचोटी 6 thinking hat एउटा एक्टिभिटी हो जुन while reading स्टेजमा गरिन्छ. 6 thinking hat मा 6 जना मेम्बर स्टुडेन्ट्सहरु खडा गरिन्छ या 6 वटा ग्रुप खडा गरिन्छ. हरेक ग्रुपलाई एउटा रोल दिइन्छ. कसैले डिस्कसनलाई फेसिलिटेट गर्छ, कसैले एडभान्टेज डिसएडभान्टेज को लेखाजोखा गर्छ, कसैले त्यहाँ टेक्स्ट भित्र सेन्टिमेन्ट खोज्छ, कसैले टेक्स्ट भित्र फ्याक्टहरु के छ त, तथ्याङ्कहरु के छन् त, त्यो मात्रै हेर्ने काम गर्छ. यसरी चाहिँ एउटा एस्से कोल्याबोरेटिभ तरिकाले 6 जना स्टुडेन्ट वा 6 वटा ग्रुपले गर्ने गर्दछन्. यदि ग्रुप यसमा 6 वटा ग्रुप बन्न नसक्ने अवस्था आएमा के गर्ने भन्दा कुनै एउटा ग्रुपले दुईटा रोल लिन सक्छ. कतिपय स्कुलहरुमा विद्यार्थी संख्या कम भएका ठाउँहरुमा चाहिँ ग्रुप बनाउँदै जाँदा 6 वटा ग्रुप नपुग्लान्. त्यस्तो अवस्थामा चाहिँ 5 वटा ग्रुप बनाएर 4 वटा ग्रुप बनाएर पनि कहीं रोल चाहिँ डबल रोल दिएर भए पनि यो चाहिँ सञ्चालन गर्न सकिन्छ. 6 थिंकिङ ह्याट एकदमै वाइल रिडिङ स्टेजमा यो गर्न सकिन्छ. Reading circle. Now, in reading circle, see there different roles: leader, summarizer, connector. Now, leader does what? Selects the material and guides the discussion. Similarly, summarizer provides an overview of the read section. Okay, summarizes the theme or the idea. Now, connector does what? Relates the input of the essay or the text to his or her own life. Okay. So, connector is linking whatever the writer is exploding through his text, is finding a link to real life context, whether a link is formed or not. How does it influence his or the audience's personal life? Map technique. Mapping arguments and points in papers. And through this technique, what we are preparing students for is critical thinking. We are trying to develop critical thinking. Okay. Who wrote the essay? In which setting has it been written? For what audience type has it been written? Why has she or he written so? What's the purpose? So on and so forth. That's the map technique. Then there is mind map. Okay, these two are different techniques. Now through this reader's outline, what a reader is outlining. Whenever a text is presented or an essay is presented for him or her to read, when he is immersed into actual reading, this task can be carried out. What's the task? To outline the ideas, main ideas. Okay, highlight the main ideas with supporting details, obviously. Reflective break. If you have joined through our application, you can comment the right answer. Thank you, Ranjit Kumar Mahato ji. Now on to post reading activities. What are the post reading activities? Debate, personal reaction, summarization. You can carry out these three activities. debate for and against the idea. It can develop critical thinking and rhetorical skills by rhetorical skills. To pursue a text from the academic setting. Okay. Now, personal reaction. Now, after they have read the text, you can ask them for their personal opinion through this. The knowledge is reinforced. Now, they can connect to the real life situation. Okay. They're asking them for their personal opinion through the text. They have somewhat related it to their life or the experiences. They can discuss, opine their personal feelings or thoughts or ideas. You can ask them to summarize. You can ask them key points, what the theme is about. Debating. Please take a look. Debate is an activity that can be carried out in post reading stage. Now, through debate, what you can learn is how to defend the idea, how to argue the idea, how to have an argument. Okay, either you are defending your thoughts or you are challenging the argument for the text. Personal reaction. It is your reflection, how you feel about it, what's your understanding, what's your personal thought, what's your viewpoint, what is, what's your comprehension of the text, what's your critical opinion. What's your emotional link? Similarly, another activity that you can carry out in post-reading stage is reporting. Okay. Students summarize and report on the key elements. And based upon these reports, you can have class discussion for further to strengthen your understanding of an essay. Reviewing. That means you are again rereading the text with a specific focus on theme or structure or arguments. Okay, you're specifically looking for details. Okay, rewriting. You can have this imitation exercises, creative twist, editing workshops, etc. You can encourage originality by having students rewrite parts of the essay with a new perspective or ending. Okay, omit few sections within the essay and you can ask them to rewrite. It will spur the originality and the creativity amongst the students. Summarizing. We have discussed enough on this. You can ask students to summarize the main ideas and supporting details. Summarizing is in itself is condensing the text to only include the main idea and supporting details. Probable question. Before we discuss on this, एकचोटि फेरि नेपालीमा आज कसरी एस्से पढाइन्छ भन्ने कुरामा हामीले चाहिँ डिस्कस गर्यौं। यो 3 स्टेज एक्टिभिटी हो, प्री रिडिङ, वाइल रिडिङ र पोस्ट रिडिङ। यो तीनटै एक्टिभिटीमा फरक फरक हामीले चाहिँ यो तीनटै स्टेजहरुमा फरक फरक एक्टिभिटी गराउने गरिन्छ। ती एक्टिभिटीजहरुलाई हामीले विस्तारमा जान्यौं, बुझ्यौं। ती एक्टिभिटी हामीले चाहिँ लगभग कण्ठ पार्नु पर्ने हुन्छ। एक्जाममा कहिलेकाहीँ ती एक्टिभिटीहरुको बारेमा या कुनै एक्टिभिटी डेमोन्स्ट्रेट गर्नुस् या लेख्नुस् कुनै एक्टिभिटीको थ्रु कसरी चाहिँ राइटिङ एस्से पढाउनुहुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ सोधिदिन पनि सक्छ। एउटा प्रोबेबल क्वेशन यो पनि हो। स्टुडेन्ट्सहरुलाई कसरी गाइड गर्ने? टेक्निकल प्रोफिसियन्सी र क्रिटिकल थिंकिङ दुईटै इन्क्लुड गर्ने गरी स्टुडेन्टले आफूले कसरी चाहिँ राइटिङ क्रिएट, ओरिजिनल राइटिङ या एउटा एस्से क्रिएट गर्न सकोस् त? कसरी यो सम्भव छ? के आधारहरु छन्, के तरिकाहरु छन्, कुन कुन तरिकाहरु छन्? टेक्निकल प्रोफिसियन्सी भनेको एउटा निश्चित ढाँचामा चाहिँ एस्से लेखिन्छ। त्यो टेक्निकल प्रोफिसियन्सी स्टुडेन्ट्समा कसरी आउँछ, कसरी के स्ट्र्याटेजी हामीले एडप्ट गर्न सकिन्छ, र अर्को क्रिटिकल थिंकिङ स्किल्सहरु छन् नि, हैन? The writer is writing through the perspective of the reader or the audience. So he has a lot of questions in his mind. Okay, what's the target audience? What does he have to say? What would be the tone? What would be the register? How to carry out the theme? Okay, so we need to make sure that students develop critical thinking skills and the creativity. We shall discuss the answer of this question tomorrow. We are going to end the session.
ओके धन्यवाद सर अब म त त्यति इङ्ग्लिस बोल्न जान्दिनँ तपाईँहरूलाई थाहा नै छ आजको सेसन कस्तो लाग्यो एकचोटि हाम्रो लाइभ फेसबुक पेजमा लाइभमा पनि धेरैजना साथीहरू हुनुहुन्छ अनि हाम्रो जुमको साथीहरूले पनि एकचोटि रेस्पोन्स दिनु त सबैजना साथीहरूले हाम्रो मल्टी पेजेसमा लाइभ गइरहेको छ सो सबैजनाले एकचोटि रेस्पोन्स दिनुहोस् आजको सेसन कस्तो लाग्यो हाम्रो जुमको साथीहरू यदि नसुत्नु भएको भए पर रेस्पोन्स दिन सक्नुहुन्छ है ओके सबैजना साथीहरूलाई जुमको साथीहरूले पनि रेस्पोन्स आएको छैन उता एडमिनमा आएको होला फन्ट साइज सानो भयो सर भन्नुभएको छ फन्ट साइज सानो छैन साथी है गोविन्दजी फन्ट साइज सानो छैन मैले पनि जुमबाट हेरिरहेको छु जुमको मोबाइल स्क्रिनबाट चाहिँ हेरिरहेको छु साथी है पर्फेक्ट छ फन्ट साइजमा समस्या छैन अनि अरू 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 केही रेस्पोन्स दिन सक्नुहुन्छ साथीहरूले र हाम्रो जुममा धेरैजना साथीहरूले कन्ट्याक्ट नम्बर भन्नुभएको छ 9857844807 सबैजनाले टिप्नु त 9857844807 जुमको साथीहरूले पनि यो नम्बर लिएर हाम्रो टिमलाई डाइरेक्ट व्हाट्सएप अथवा फोन कल पनि गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ 9857844807 808 809 जुन नम्बरमा पनि कल गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ है ओके आजको सेसन हामी यही गरौँ भोलि सेम टाइममा सबैजना मोबाइल एप्लिकेसनबाट जोइन गर्न होला है ओके धन्यवाद गुड नाइट शुभरात्रि सबैजनाले Text is very good. Few dictation. Wow. Text is very good, but a few description. Okay. So कुनै पनि सानो भएको टेक्स्टहरु हामी इम्प्रुभमेन्ट गरिहाल्छौँ त्यसको लागि टेन्सन भएन है तपाईको बल्ल स्टार्टिङ फर्स्ट लेसनबाट स्टार्टिङ भइरहेको छ क्लासहरु फर्स्ट च्याप्टरबाट सो नो प्रब्लम त्यसको लागि सुझाव सल्लाहको लागि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद सुशीलाजी अनि हाम्रो गोविन्दजी ल आजको लागि यति नै गरौँ है सो हामी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुपमा पनि छौं जोइन केही समस्या सुधार गर्न पर्ने चीजहरु छ भने तपाईहरुले मेसेज पनि गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ डोन्ट वरी त्यसको लागि हामी तपाईहरुलाई जतिखेर पनि वेलकम गर्छौं ओके